Hey, what's happening? What's going on, music lovers? Welcome to another episode of Billboard Philippines Off the Charts. We are breaking down the Billboard Philippines Hot 100 for the month of January. First set of charts for the year. What happened? What went down? Who hit number one on both the Billboard Philippines Hot 100 and Top Philippine Songs? Anton here, podcast producer for Billboard Philippines. And later on the show, we got Jason Caballa, managing editor for Billboard Philippines. We get his thoughts on the charts for the month of January. But in the meantime, let's go behind the numbers. Looking back at the week of January 11, 2025, started off the month with Dianella back at number one with Marilag. He leads the way in video and audio streams, ended 2024 on top, and started 2025 still at number one. And sitting right behind them is Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars with Die With a Smile, behind Dianella with Marilag, behind by 26% in audio and video streams. Some notable headlines for that week: Lola Amore's Fallen is back on the charts. Drake Cruz and Bert Simon hits us with some new music. And as mentioned, Dianella starts of the year back at the top. New entries for the week of January 11, La La La, Naughty Boy, Sam Smith at 83. Number 92, Save Your Tears from The Weekend. Number 98, Wag Ipagsabi, Drake Cruz, Bert Simon. We got a number of songs, coming back into the charts. Some re-entries for the week of January 11. Number 60, Water, Tyla, one of the biggest dance craze of the 2023-2024 year. Number 74, Fallen from Lola Amore. At 81, Miss Rob Daniel. If you want, to hear more about him, backtrack and check out the previous episodes we have of Billboard Philippines volumes. Number 85, Sunkiss Lola with Pasilio. Number 86, Break Even from The Script. Number 90, Diet Pepsi, Addison Rae back on the charts. Biggest jumpers for the week of January 11, BMF SZA from number 75 straight into the top 10 at number 9. Push the Star Tyla from number 42 to number 27. Who Jimin from number 39 to 28. Almost with a Boyfriend from number 51, jumping all the way to number 37. And Sabrina Carpenter from 60 to 49. Pantropico from Beanie hanging on to the top 100 from number 60, jumping to number 49. And Taylor Swift with Cruel Summer from 80 to 58. Let's move on to the week of January 18. Dianella remains at number one with Marilag, with a 9.7% increase on the audio stream and video stream side. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, who was bumped off this week as Luther from Kendrick Lamar takes the number 2 spot. Die With a Smile from Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars drops in audio streams, a significant 11% drop. Some notable headlines for the week of January 18. Dilao's Ohaw re-enters the top Philippine charts, and Hail Mary drops a new single called My Day. And time now for new entries for the week of January 18. Number 57, My Day from Hail Mary. Number 75, Swim from Chase Atlantic. Number 100, What Do I Do from SZA. Re-entries for the week of January 18. Number 69, Rose is back with Number 1 Girl. Number 86, Sugar Free back on the charts to start 2025 with Burnout. And number 93, Love with I Like Me Better. Biggest jumps for the week of January 18. Gusto Ko Sa'kin Ka Lang, Robledo Temido, a chart staple the past couple of weeks, from 40 going back into number 24. La La La, Naughty Boy and Sam Smith from 83 to 35. The 1975 joins the party with About You from 93 to 56. And Drake Cruz and Bert Simon with Wag Ipagsabi from 98 to 58. Now for the week of Jan 25, not much has changed from this week compared to the previous weeks. Marilag from Dianella still at the top of the charts, followed by Kendrick Lamar's Luther, and Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars with Die With a Smile. Some notable changes for the week. We did see SZA and Young Kai climb into the top 5. Headlines for the week of Jan 25. Hale enters the top Philippine songs with Kung Wala Ka. K-pop takes over the Billboard Philippines Hot 100. Gracie Abrams breaks into the top 10. And collabs taking over the Billboard Philippines Hot 100. New entries for the week of January 25. At number 81, December Avenue makes their debut on the Billboard Philippines Hot 100. And at number 91, Shanty Dope with City Girl. Number 100, sa susunod na lang, PDL's Custakli and Yuri Dope. And now, biggest jumpers for the week of Jan 25. La La La, Naughty Boy and Sam Smith from 35 to 19. Hail Mary with My Day from 57 to number 30. Unti Unti from Up Dorma Down from 80 to 65. Well, that's a look back behind the numbers for the Billboard Philippines Hot 100 and top Philippine songs for the month of January. Welcome back to Off the Charts. It's 2025 and we are back. Anton Molina here, podcast producer for Billboard Philippines. And we have our managing editor for Billboard Philippines, of course, Jason Caballa. First off, Jason, Happy New Year. And you know what? Let's start off the year with what did you notice for the month of January?
Happy New Year, everyone. January, traditionally it's always pretty slow when it comes to
Mhm.
new releases because
Yeah.
the holidays just finished and we were just wrapped up a year of music. So January is usually pretty slow. So obviously the charts they're just filled with mostly the same tracks as the previous weeks.
Mhm.
We have the usual suspects like Birds of a Feather, Luther by Kendrick Lamar. And you have your Die With a Smile, and
Yeah.
then locally there's Sining, Palagi, Tingin.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of the last few tracks that you mentioned, they're all collaborations. You have Dianella and
Yeah.
JR, KZ and TJ, Cup of Joe and Janine Teñoso, which, by the way, has been stable, has always been on the charts this
It's a
past
really
couple
old
of months.
song.
Yeah, Addy and Janine Burdine as well, and you know what? The list goes on, and it seems collabs are an effective way to get into the charts. It's basically you're bringing in two fandoms
Yeah.
together, so twice as much listening power, especially if these two artists have different genres of music and that people are surprised that it works now.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, collabs can work both ways. Na it could be collaborations between two artists who don't sound similar,
Mhm.
so people will be curious, and yet that's when it brings two fandoms together. Or it could be your two favorite artists that are working together. And but in any case, nowadays it's much easier to work on collaborations because of digital technology. And
True.
all the artists have to do is they email files to each other, and then they
Mm.
can, and because of the ease of accessing recording technology, you can always just record your parts at home and then send it to each other and then put the song together. And they don't even have to be together in the studio.
Yeah.
But of course, there's more magic when they're physically together working
Mm.
on the song. And I guess that's also why like the live performances of these songs get a lot of streaming because fans get to see both artists actually singing the song
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
physically
True.
together.
And that's when we see, because there are a lot of, when you see like the docus of the makings of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
song,
yeah.
it's a lot of FaceTime calls. Na, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, who are the two artists that you wish to see like collaborate in the future?
Right off the bat, maybe internationally, I'd like to hear Charlie XCX collaborate with Trent Reznor.
Ooh.
Because Brat, I never listened to Charlie XCX before, but I couldn't escape Brat.
Yeah.
I just had to listen to it, and it's such a banger of a record. It's a big revelation for me. The hyper pop sound, and when I listened to it, naalala ko si Trent Reznor, and he's known for doing great electronic stuff.
Mhm.
From Nine Inch Nails to last year's Challenger
Yeah.
soundtrack, which was one of my favorite records of last year. And he also did a Halsey album, which
Mm.
he co-produced with the Atticus Ross. So I'd like to hear him work with Charlie XCX. And then maybe, for a more obvious collaboration choice, because of the Filipino connection would be Bia Badubi and Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, the
But
fans would go crazy for that.
yeah, I mean, there's an obvious Filipino collection
Yeah.
connection, but they're both young women. They strike me as both being young women who do 90s alternative inspired guitar pop rock. So hearing them together on a track that's, similarly, guitar based,
Hmm.
I think that would be interesting. And then locally, that's tough. There's a lot, but again, right off the bat, based on my personal listening tastes, I'd like to hear something from UDD and Enamori, because
Ooh.
UDD, since their comeback, they've been working with different vocalists on their tracks.
Mm.
In our last issue of Billboard, they actually mentioned that their current setup has freed them up to collaborate with many different artists,
Yeah.
and they've been doing that, right? And then at the same time, Enamori, one of the most consistent electropop artists around, or artists, period. They're like two different generations of the synth pop sound.
Hmm.
And I'd like to hear them join forces on a track. And, if you also look back at UDD's old sound, si Enamori, she's also a great piano player. So
Mm.
if they go that route and she also
Oh.
plays piano, it would be interesting also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or, maybe just join UDD. No, no,
No, no, no. I don't
yeah,
think so. I don't think
yeah.
so. I don't think so.
But
But
yeah.
it's ano, because like Enna has a more modern take on synth
Mhm.
pop, while UDD, I'm not saying they're old, but they like using like these old analog synthesizers
Mhm.
to arrange their music. So I'd like to see like a merger of that sound.
Yeah. And agree with those names that you mentioned above. And, we're talking about collaborations here, like, singing, being part of the song and performing, not just coming in as a
Yeah.
producer. And I would also love to see that Trent and Charlie XCX collaboration. At the top of my head, for me, I think a Billie Eilish and Tyler the Creator song
Yeah,
would
that would be
sound
cool.
nice. And we know how close, those two are. So maybe parang baka mas fun yung creating process of the song
Yeah.
versus the actual song. I mean, it'll be more entertaining.
Yeah.
And locally, I like to see collaborations of like, young artists and some icons, like some sort of a passing down the torch.
Yeah, yeah.
So like Rico Blanco and Zild
Yeah,
collab
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that would be I can imagine that to be like a really big anthem with a big chorus and stuff. That would be really wild.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you said earlier about Billie Eilish and Tyler, it would be interesting to hear someone other than Phineas do Billie Eilish's music. So yeah, that would be interesting also.
Yeah, but going back to what you said at the start of the show, that new releases are pretty slow at the start of the year, but we have a lot of artists teasing big stuff for 2025. Again, last year the chart started with P-pop
Yeah.
taking over, and then we saw a bit of K-pop coming in to
Mm-hmm.
close out 2024.
Yeah.
And this year, though, it's looking like a different story as we have two
Yeah.
members from BLACKPINK, Jisoo and Jennie. They have announced that they'll be releasing solo
Yeah, yeah.
albums.
So Jenny, she just announced the release of her solo debut album. I think it comes out on March 7. Yeah. And we've all heard Mantra. It
Mm.
actually reached the top 10. And it's a great song. And I'm excited to hear, the rest of her stuff. Jisoo naman, this is a little more surprising, but she also just recently announced that she's putting out her first mini album on Valentine's Day. It's
Ooh,
called Amortage.
wow.
And it's, yeah, like I said, it's surprising because she's always been the most quiet out
Yeah.
of the four Blackpink members, and she hasn't released any solo stuff since 2023, and those were only two songs. So
Mm.
again, it would be interesting to hear Jisoo's comeback.
Yeah. And we've seen the rest of the Blackpink members
Yeah,
all chart. Yeah, Jennie, you had Lisa, and of course you had
yeah,
Rosé.
Rosé, made a smash with Apatu. Inescapable during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
She released her album, and Lisa, if you follow her social media, she's been pretty busy promoting her solo stuff as
Mm.
well, and I think she has a new track coming out soon as well. So now all Blackpink members have been accounted for, and they're all pretty busy or gonna be pretty busy. So I wonder how this will affect their supposed comeback tour this year. So I don't know. Everything's still up in the air.
Yeah, so the Billboard Philippines Hot 100, we have some new players coming in, and it's always super unpredictable that it can look different in Feb, especially come March when when all those new albums drop and when all those new music come out. That we might have a different number one next month.
Yeah.
Who knows? But next week,
Yeah.
right? And you know what? Let's wrap up the episode. That about does it for Off the Charts. We can't really give our predictions for what's gonna happen
Yeah.
in
Anything
Feb.
can happen. Anything can
Yeah,
happen.
and also since not much new releases have come out.
Or new releases that will just come out,
Oh yeah, yeah,
without
yeah.
warning.
Like after this, after we shoot the episode, it usually happens. But anyways, that does it for Off the Charts. Anton, Jason, we're signing out.
Billboard Philippines.